Alright, so today we're talking about Terminator Resistance. This is the game that Teyon made before RoboCop Rogue City, and if you're expecting a game with as much love for the source material as Rogue City, you're right to do so. But if you're expecting a game that has as good a gameplay and the same level of polish as Rogue City, you're wrong. This is by no means a terrible game, but a lot of the heavy lifting for my enjoyment of it is from the story and world. So let's start off with the gameplay. The shooting is pretty clunky and very simple. The enemy AI isn't very good. I remember getting stuck on things and stuff like that, and also for the most part it would just walk toward you and shoot and not take cover or anything. Now you could argue they do kind of do that in the movie, but either way it doesn't make for very engaging gameplay. They're also ridiculously accurate for shooter enemies, probably to compensate for the bad AI. Now you could argue, well, they're robots, they're supposed to be super accurate shots, but in the movies it doesn't really seem like they're perfect shots. There's plenty of missed shots from the Terminators. They're definitely not as accurate as these guys. The enemies do at least have good variety. We get to see a lot of the different Terminator robots we've seen over the years, and it's fun to see what were background elements become foreground elements. There are also light RPG elements in this game. It's sort of like going for a Bethesda sort of thing. You have a decent skill system and weapon upgrading mechanics. You can also buy and sell gear. All the stuff is basically just fine, like the combat. This game is for the most part a series of smallish open worlds with a few more linear sections in between. The open world sections are relatively good, with some decent little side quests and interesting maps, and the linear sections do an alright job for stepping up the action. There's also some light story choices, which are good. They're not exactly Walking Dead Season 1, but they're good. Before we get into the rest of it, check this out. What Happens After Midnight, my action survival horror game, is available right now. You're sent to investigate the town of Night Vale and quickly find out interdimensional forces are invading our world. Hop between worlds, meet strange characters, and survive cosmic horrors once you find out what happens after midnight. Also, any feedback is greatly appreciated. The story in general is okay, but the world building is pretty good. It's probably actually one of the best representations of the world of Terminator. You really get the idea of this super hopeless war where humanity is barely hanging on, not just physically but ethically. Also, I simply like that it is a future war story. We don't really get to see it that much, and we finally get to see it fleshed out here. We never really saw that much in the movies outside of Salvation, and Salvation was really different from what we saw before and after of the future war. And also I like how the end of the game tries to tie the movies all together. The aesthetics are pretty good from an art direction standpoint, not a graphical fidelity standpoint. They are a huge part of bringing the future war settings alive. I also like how it feels like a mix of every version of the future war we've seen, even the one in Salvation. Even though it's pretty different, they made it work. There's also the Infiltrator mode, where you get to play as a Terminator, and you basically just go around killing humans. The gameplay was a bit better there, and in retrospect, sort of feels like a prototype for the RoboCop game. Overall, this game isn't great gameplay-wise, but adds a send up to the Terminator franchise and a way to explore the world of the Terminator. It's pretty good, and I'm giving it a 7.90. Thank you to anyone who likes, comments, or subscribes. That's it.